Sandy says read, and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to do an announcement tag. I am kind of sort of prognosticating what I'm going to do during the month of June, at least part of what I'm going to do during the month of June. This is my June Journeys with the Inklings announcement. I'm announcing the stuff that I'm planning and hoping to get done with June Journeys with the Inklings. I am going over here to the proper screen so I can read for you guys what's happening here. Okay, this is the June Journeys with the Inklings Readathon, which Kailey over at Luminous Libro has put together for us. You guys, she has put a ton of time and effort into putting together this readathon for us, and it is simply mind-boggling. There is a lot of stuff you could do, or you could just do one of the prompts or one or two of the activities. You could combine a couple of the prompts into one activity. There's all kinds of different ways that you could enjoy and participate in the June Journeys with the Inklings Readathon. I think I'm combining a couple of these to make my life a little easier in June. Yeah. First, I'm going to show you guys the map that Kailey has put together. You can click on a link that I'm going to put in the drop-down box below to see this map yourselves. So you can go and check this thing out, but I'm going to put it here on the screen for you guys to see. Okay, this is the June Journeys with Inklings map that Kailey created. And like I said, I'm going to put a link in the drop-down box below so that you can go and see this map. You can also see the different prompts that she has put together. Prompts, activities, whatever you want to call them, the different ideas for books you can read, essays and poems that you could read, or documentaries and films you could watch, different things you can do to participate in this QL readathon. She explains at her channel that to participate in this, you want to read, let's see, at least one work written by the Inklings, about the Inklings, or influenced by the Inklings. The Hero's Journey challenges that you're going to see at that website that I link you to, they are optional. Okay, you can double up on challenges, or you can do just one challenge. You can do all the challenges, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Participate however you wish. But there is a hashtag that you can use so that we can find each other while we're doing this. The hashtag is Inklings in June. And I will also put that in the drop-down box below. Now let's dive into what I am doing, what I think I'm doing for June. Let's do Sandy's June Journeys with the Inklings Readathon prognostication. Now, most of you out there are aware that Lewis and Tolkien and some other gentlemen used to get together at, the local pub and go over what they were working on, talk about what they were working on, read some of their passages to one another. I'm just like, the ultimate writers group, right? And my goodness, I'm just floored by that whole concept. Okay, so the Inklings in that group include C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien, Warren Lewis, Christopher Tolkien, Charles Williams, Hugo Dyson, Owen Barfield, Jack A.W. Bennett, Lord David Cecil, Neville Coghill, Adam Fox, and Robert Havard. I got this list from Kailey. She had it listed out on her channel, so I didn't have to go and look them all up, you guys. I cheated, and I just took this from her. Now, you could, for this challenge, for this readathon, you could read works from any one of those folks. I personally am focusing mostly on Tolkien. I just am. I have been so heavily influenced by Tolkien in my own writing. Love him. So I'm just, for this year, I'm really going to focus on Tolkien. That's just how it's going to be. Maybe if we do this again next year, I can, spread my wings, do a little bit more pre-planning and getting ready for this a little better. And maybe I can branch out and look at some of the works from some of those other authors. I think that would be a very good and healthy thing for me to do. Now, before we dive into like each of the challenges and prompts and talk about what I'm planning to do, I want to welcome you guys to subscribe to the channel. I want to remind everyone out there, if you're viewing this content and enjoying kind of the chaotic randomness of it, please subscribe to the channel. Please welcome your friends to subscribe to the channel too, because here at Sandy Says Read, we do bookish stuff. We do book reviews. We do booktube tags. Once in a while, we do a readathon. Yay. And I do like to focus on indie authors as much as possible. So you will see authors that are probably new to you here at the channel. Done with the commercial break, let's dive into the Hero's Journey challenges and my plans for them. Challenge number 1, encounter a wise mentor, read the Bible. Okay, I am so lax about this. I do not read my Bible every day. I just admit that right up front. I fail at that. So this will be a good, positive thing if I were to set a habit and set a goal of reading every day and get back into that habit. That would be very good. But I am going to focus on, I wrote down here, Genesis 6 through 9 and the book of Joshua. I think Genesis 6 through 9 is the story of the flood and a little bit of the aftermath. And then Joshua, the whole book of Joshua. I very much like the story of Joshua, that whole thing. So I would like to use those to like get me back into maybe a daily habit, maybe make it a habit. That would be a healthy thing. Now, there's a reason for me wanting to read the story about the flood. Again, I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes here in one of these other prompts, okay? But I want to tell you guys, I remember as a kid when we would go to the dentist's office, and I was a little kid and we'd be sitting there waiting for my appointment. There was a book in the dentist's office in the lobby that talked about the flood, Noah's Ark. And I remember always wanting to read that book when I was waiting for the dentist. I just loved the story of the ark and the animals getting on the ark. And yeah. So the flood story is always of interest to me. Okay, prompt number 2, research ancient legends. Read a nonfiction Inkling book or essay. I want to go into the Beowulf translation from Tolkien. Now, this is Beowulf, a translation and commentary, together with Sellic Spell, edited by Christopher Tolkien. Now, full disclosure, I already read it. Earlier this year for the Dragon, we had a little squawk out in the other room. For the Dragon Reading Challenge here at the channel, I wanted to read Beowulf, and this was the book that I selected for that. So I was reading it during the month of January and during the month of February. It's pretty dense, okay? It's not just a translation of Beowulf, obviously. I mean, there's commentary. So it's a pretty academic study, is what I will say. So I want to kind of like go back through my notes. I mean, I made some notes, not a ton, but I made some notes as I was reading it. So I think I would like to go back to my notes and then bring you guys a review and discussion here on the channel during the month of June, if I can put that together. And that will fit the challenge number 2. Challenge number 3 is set out on a quest. Read a fiction Inkling book or novella or short story. I want to read The Fall of Numenor. This one, it's edited by Brian Sibley with illustrations by Alan Lee. So this is just a gorgeous, beautiful book. Let me see if I can get it up there. I don't know if you guys can see that because I have blocked the screen. So I'm just going to wave the book at you guys a little bit. See if maybe the glare is hopefully not too bad. This is also going to slide into prompt number 4. Discover hidden magic. Read a new to you Inkling book, novella, short story, poem, essay, etc. The Fall of Numenor. This one is new to me because I haven't read it before. I haven't read this one yet. So I'm kind of combining 3 and 4. I'm cheating. I'm combining 3 and 4. Now, number 5, rescue the damsel. Read poetry by the Inklings. Now, you guys, I am going to go ahead and read Bilbo's last song. I sort of collected this. I brought it into my life and then did not actually read it. I just brought it into my life because it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. On the back cover, it says, farewell to Middle Earth at last. I see the star above your mast. I was just it's just lovely. But look at the back cover too. I mean, it's just lovely. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous little book, and it's very thin. It's very small. It's just a poem. It's Bilbo's last song. It's just a poem from Tolkien. So I want to read this and bring it to you guys and talk about how nice it is. Just nerd out a little bit about how nice it is. But I also want to read a poem in The Fall of Numenor, because there's poetry. There's poetry in all of Tolkien's works, right? Okay, but look at this. On page 140 and 141. Let's just go ahead and dive into Tolkien together for a moment. This is an ancient dwarvish lament that speaks of the lost splendor of Khazad-dûm. The world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen. No words were laid on stream or stone when Durin woke and walked alone. He named the nameless hills and dells, he drank from yet untasted wells, he stooped and looked in mirror, and saw a crown of stars appear, as gems upon a silver thread above the shadow of his head. The world was fair, the mountains tall, in elder days before the fall of mighty kings in Nargothrond and Gondolin, who now beyond the western seas have passed away. The world was fair in Durin's day. A king he was on carven throne in many pillared halls of stone, with golden roof and silver floor and runes of power upon the door. The light of sun and star and moon in shining lamps of crystal hewn, undimmed by cloud or shade of night, there shone forever fair and bright. Their hammer on the anvil smote, their chisel clove and graver wrote. Their forged was blade and bound was hilt, the delver mined, the mason built. Their beryl, pearl, and opal pale, and metal wrought like fish's mail. Buckler and corslet, axe and sword, and shining spears were laid in hoard. Unwearied then were Durin's folk, beneath the mountains music woke. The harpers harped, the minstrels sang, and at the gates the trumpets rang. The world is gray, the mountains old, the forge's fire is ashen cold. No harp is rung, no hammer falls, the darkness dwells in Durin's halls. The shadow lies upon his tomb in Moria, in Khazad-dûm. But still the sunken stars appear in dark and windless Mirror. There lies his crown in water deep, till Durin wakes again from sleep. Prompt number 6. Restore a magical sword. Read a book influenced by the Inklings or that influenced the Inklings. I am going to read Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, we have a flood. And you guys, that is why I'm so keen to reread the story of the flood in Genesis, because there's a flood in Gilgamesh. Now, also, there is this idea of the hero in Gilgamesh, of course. And so I'm intrigued to sort of read that and bring you guys maybe a comparison of Gilgamesh and Aragorn. I would like to do that. I would like to kind of look at that if I can. I mean, who knows? You have to understand, I get so nervous about doing that sort of thing on this channel because I know there are folks out there who are going to show up and be trolls and tell me that I'm stupid and tell me that I've missed some little piece that I could have talked about or missed some aspect of it that I should have mentioned or that went over my head. And I don't know, I feel unprepared to discuss as much about Tolkien as other people can discuss about Tolkien, because I'm not a full-on Tolkien scholar. And I'm aware there are full-on Tolkien scholars out there who are just adamant about the gatekeeping, and I feel weird. But I'm going to give it a try, you guys, and we're going to read Gilgamesh, and then we're going to talk about the flood, and we're going to talk about Aragorn. And we're going to make it as cool as we can. Or prompt number 7, defeat the Dark Lord. Watch a screen adaptation of an Inkling book or a documentary or film about their lives, or some screen adaptation that was influenced by the Inklings. You guys, I have already rewatched Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah, because I love it. We all love that trilogy so very much. So I've rewatched Fellowship of the Ring already. I will watch the other two, of course, of course, of course. But I did also watch a BBC production of C.S. Lewis Through the Shadowlands. Now, I watched that one. It was from 1986. That was the one that I watched. And it's a, for those of you who have not already seen it, it is a look at C.S. Lewis's sort of later years when he met his wife, when he met Joy, and sort of formed that sort of courtship with her, and then did marry her, and then her battle with cancer, and how Lewis reacted to that. And I mean, the movie or the documentary it's pitched as like a look at his crisis of faith when she was ill and when she died. But I don't know. I don't think that I saw a crisis of faith in him. I think I saw a strengthening of his faith in that film. And it was lovely to behold that. And yeah, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. Let's see, it was produced by David M. Thompson, directed by Norman Stone, and it had 2 BAFTA awards, which I thought was very nice, very nice. So I've already watched that one. I've already taken care of prompt number 7 because it was just like an hour and a half movie. It wasn't that difficult to do, and it was nice to get a little bit more of C.S. Lewis's life like into my brain. That was nice. Okay. Prompt number 8, you guys. The final prompt, the final challenge is fulfill the prophecy. Read a book about the Inklings or their work. Now, I did look up, there are a couple of books available on Amazon that I noticed, and I was kind of looking through to see what I would like to do for this prompt. And there was one called Frodo's Journey by Joseph Pierce. And I worked with Joseph Pierce at the university that shall not be named. And he's a wonderful guy, okay? A good man, a good Christian man who I bet has written a really good book. I bet that Frodo's Journey is a good, solid look into like the hero's journey and what Frodo had to go through and his arc. And I bet that Joseph takes apart the part where Frodo fails. And I bet Joseph does a really good look at that. I bet he does. But the stuff that Joseph and I don't know if Joseph went through as much pain and suffering at that university as I did, but because of the pain and suffering I went through at that university, I just couldn't quite pull the trigger to purchase that book and read it and be seeped in the knowledge that I was back in that environment. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So instead, I went with Kailey's recommendation of On the Shoulders of Hobbits, The Road to Virtue with Tolkien and Lewis by Louis Markos. And let's see, it says forward by Peter Kreeft. All right, so Louis Markos is the author of this one, On the Shoulders of Hobbits. I just thought that the way she mentioned this, the way she described this was really interesting. So I went ahead and looked at what was going on here. And I just like I like the way this sounds. I like the idea of looking at how the hobbits like demonstrate courage and virtue and stick-to-itiveness and all those good things that you want in your heroes. I'm looking forward to reading this. Guys, I think that's everything. Let me go back over here on this screen to make sure that I am still recording. Hopefully we recorded all of this. You guys, I will put some timestamps below so that you guys can like pick through and look at what you want to look at. You don't have to sit through all this mayhem if you don't want to. I will put the prompts in the information box below. So if you don't have time to go to the website and see the map and the prompts, you can see them below. Everything will be in the information box below. That might be all for now. If you wish, you can go and see Kailey's version of this announcement as well. She does a much better job of it since, you know, she put this together. And kudos to her. You guys, this is amazing. This is a wonderful opportunity to revisit the Inklings and revisit all the fun fantasy stuff and sci-fi stuff and magical stuff that we love from the Inklings. Okay, thumbs up for June Journeys with the Inklings Readathon. And thank you so much for tuning in.